Today on the CyberShow, we have a very special guest coming to you, Jillian Michaels. I'm Cheri Sigmund, your host, cybersecurity expert, entrepreneur, and consultant. First, a word from our sponsor, Cybersecurity by Numbers. You have heard of paint by numbers, right? Well, cybersecurity by number is exactly like paint by number. It takes a process, puts it in a framework, and simplifies it by the numbers. So you take a catalog of security controls and a framework, put them together, assign them a corresponding number, put that in your risk map, and that will help you format what you need to do or not do to help better secure your customers' data, protect your operations, the continuity of your business, and keep your business making money. Cybersecurity by Numbers, coming to you soon. For information, check out the comments box below. Now on to our interview with Jillian Michaels. Hi, welcome to the Cyber Show with Cheri Sigmund. Today we have a very special guest, Jillian Michaels, fitness expert and certified nutritionist. It's good to see you, Jillian.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. So today we're going to change up the format a little bit. Normally on the Cyber Show, we talk about cybersecurity and all things cyberspace. But since you're our special guest, we want to devote the full time and attention to what you have to say. And I'd like to ask you two questions, one business and one personal. Which would you prefer first?
Gosh, I thought you were going to say, have you protected your computer? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. So what do I need to do? I'm going to put a Band-Aid over my camera. I'm totally open, whichever, whatever you think.
Well, this is more of a personal nature. And I noticed a few episodes ago on your show, the Jillian Michaels Show, that you talked about the power of community during times of chaos. And so that's very timely, especially now here in 2020 for everything that people are going through, being isolated, many people working remotely, the whole pandemic and that sort of thing. So from your personal experience, can you share some tips and techniques for our audience to help them get through and leverage that power of community that you talked about, even in a digital in a digital context, but what works for you that might work for other people?
Okay. I mean, I have done the following, and this depends on the level of risk you're willing to take. I had a very small little COVID club and caught it. So, if you're a person where you're like, all right, I'm healthy, and you mitigate that risk, I practice safety measures if you do have that small little group, but it's absolutely no guarantee. I'm a perfect example. Now, I would say that, for me, the key was making sure that I didn't give it to anybody else. And that was really the number one concern of mine. And fortunately, it was caught quick. But I would say, if you don't have that luxury and you can't see any friends at all, and it's just the immediate family, there are resources out there. Like I have an app, obviously, with the whole forum on there, but I also have a free Facebook group because it's like, hey, I get it. You can't, if you can't afford it, that's fine. Like, here's a free community. Use it. And it's not just me. There are a million of them out there. Whether you're pregnant and it's baby center that you're going to, like, whatever you're into. It could be a car club. It could be, whatever hobby, like horses. There's, I'm sure, boards for that, right? What are you into? And there are a million different private Facebook groups, online communities, forums, message boards, that you can find like-minded individuals who are going through the same stuff. So whether it's a FaceTime, whether it's a Zoom, whether it's making an online buddy, whether it's a FaceTime session with a trainer, right? In my business, I see a lot of trainers doing that. Connect, get on the phone, do a FaceTime, do your best to connect with people, even if it's not in person.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that, Jillian. So from a business perspective, I mean, you have 100 million followers and many very successful brands. And a lot of people ask you about your secret to success. I'm going to ask you something a little bit different.
Sure.
When you're expanding your business entities and your portfolio, if you will, when you have strategic partners, and I notice you have several, what do you look for in a strategic partnership?
Depends on the goal. So, if I'm thinking to myself, okay, I want to build the best fitness app. Well, I need a company that is one of the best in building those kinds of algorithms and understands that kind of technology. That's not what I do. Now, I can find a company and say, look, I want to be a personal trainer. I want them to show up and I want them to tell me X, Y, and Z about themselves. And then I want a custom workout to be made. I don't know how to build that algorithm though. I need a partner that understands that stuff, right? So I look at what I want to achieve and what I'm missing in that equation. I don't know tech. I don't know how to build an app. So there's a company called Lolo. They're my strategic partner in my app. They do all of that back end stuff to make my vision come to life for people. And that's what I mean. It just depends. But the ultimate goal is, here is my ultimate goal. And this is what I'm missing in my toolbox to get to that ultimate goal. And I look for a partnership for the person who has the tools I don't have.
Okay. And following that train of thought, what would you be looking to do in the next year or so? I mean, it's kind of hard to have a 5-year plan with things being a little uncertain now, but what's next for Jillian Michaels?
I mean, I definitely do. I always actually do have a long-term plan. However, I look at it as follows, right? I think of it as, you know how they say life happens while you're making other plans? The key is that you're making plans, right? You are taking deliberate action and applying it to your intention. So you're putting all of these seeds, if you will, into the earth, out into the world. Now you might think, I am planting an apple tree and this sucker is going to bear fruit in 6 months. And it could be an avocado. It might end up being like, oh my God, it was an avocado seed. But it might grow better in that climate and it might crop up in 3 months. And the point is, that's the part where it happens while you're making other plans. But if you're putting the intention and the effort and the energy into the world, something will come back to you. It might not look exactly as you planned. So for me, my long-term goal is to take this app platform. And now when you look at apps, it's like, what's Netflix? It's an app, isn't it? It's a streaming platform, but it is an app. I don't even, what is the difference? It's on TV, it's on my phone, it's on my, whereas, you could take any app now and you could grab real estate, whether it's on Roku or Amazon Fire, or it's automatic install on a Samsung TV or on your smartphone device, and provide content to anybody, any place in the world. I don't need a television network to do it. I don't need a television network to not get me distribution in Australia. Anyone in Australia can access my app. I mean, so for me, I would like to grow that platform and add new talent and new trainers into the mix. So I have a really select handful of people that I think have tools I don't, right? Whether it's a pregnancy fitness specialist, a yogi, a running expert, a meditation coach. These are not my specialties in fitness. So I built this great family, continue to build out this brand and this platform, make it accessible to the masses. And maybe we get into health programming. Maybe there's a podcast network there. The sky becomes the limit, but you got to be putting it into the world in order to get it back.
That sounds great. Wow. So you do have
we'll see.
The short-term and the long-term plans.
Both. You got to have both. Exactly.
So when you're not focused on business, and what do you do for fun?
Oh, I love, look, my kids drive me nuts, but I love them. So we just took them on a little ski trip because as I said, we've all already had COVID. So we were very afraid. So I got to take them skiing, and it's nice to just play with them. You can't be caught up in your own nonsense when you're with kids. They just don't allow it. They just command way too much of your focus and your attention all the time. So I love, and believe me, they wear me down too. I like my alone time as well, but I do love just enjoying their little personalities and seeing all the craziness they get into and create and think and share with me in the world. I love my horses. I love horseback riding. I've had horses since I was a kid. I love scuba diving. So those are 3 of my favorite things.
Awesome. I have my friend of mine in Texas has horses, so I like to visit her and her horses when I'm out in Texas and San Antonio. But I have 2 wiener dogs, so they are very mischievous.
Oh, I've got two dogs, no wiener dogs, on 2 beds directly in front of me. Yeah. Always. They're with me even when I'm not having fun. They're always there. They're like literally like the little oxygen mask. They always help me stay calm and comforted.
And here's a little tip for anybody who's recording anything in business or your personal life. I'll share this with you. Before I started recording this, since I'm actually teleworking, I'm at home. I don't know if you can see the background here. You can tell this is, obviously not an office.
Same, Mama.
To keep the pets quiet, what I had to do with the wiener dogs is put them in the back room in a bedroom, turn on the TV low, and turn on a fan, a regular floor fan, to have some ambient noise to keep them, from hearing. It works so far.
Up. If I don't keep these two in the room with me, like I was just doing an interview and they were outside barking and scratching at the door. So now, like, I literally just like,
you put them in the room.
Yeah, there's one over there, and the other one she's over there. I just gotta, they gotta stay in the room or it's a disaster. That's the only way forward.
So that's another way to do it. It's either in the back of the house, away from you with ambient noise, or in the room with you so they feel comfortable.
I like it. I like both strategies. Whatever works.
Well, I hear you. Was there anything in the general that you would like to, I'm not sure how much time we have left, but is there anything in general you'd like to close with for our audience? The advice, tips, or anything in general? I'll just leave it wide open for you.
Gosh, I mean, I would simply say that, this is an insane time. We all know that these are unprecedented times, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, if I could just provide some hope, because I think, as they're locking everything down, everything is getting like stricter again and crazier again and harder again. There are vaccines. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. This will end. And I don't believe that this will be the new normal. I think we'll take valuable things away about hygiene and, not spreading disease when we're sick and so on. But this will end. Things will get better and it will be okay. It will. Just we're this close. It's like Churchill, right? If you're going through hell, keep going.
I like that. Thank you. Well, thanks again for being on the CyberShow, Jillian.
Oh, thank you for having me.